With you, and we appreciate catching up with you. This is just, in my view, a travesty what's happened here with Norm Coleman. I mean, the double counting, the inconsistent standards. Obviously, the Franken folks are a little worried about this now and asking this be thrown out. What are you thinking here?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that they don't want all the votes counted. This is a guy who, is an Al Gore supporter. All the votes should be counted, right? He starts off this thing when he's behind saying all the votes should be counted. Now, the only additional votes that have been counted are absentee ballots that come from his districts. And he doesn't want all the absentee ballots counted, just the ones that come from districts that he felt were going to help him. And now he's going to court to cut off the legal case. And it seems to me he is very worried that if they count the 12,000 rejected absentee ballots, that it's going to turn out that Norm Coleman wins. So he is basically saying, let's end it all, but let's not count the last 12,000 votes.
This is a pattern, too, where we should point out, even that was the argument, folks forget this, 8 years ago in 2000, when Gore just wanted to cherry-pick which counties they picked in Florida.
Correct, and he didn't want to count the military ballots, remember?
Of course not. And, by the way, Christine Gregoire in Washington is governor today because the Democrats played the same thing on Washington State. So,
yeah, I mean, this is in what is supposed to be the Obama post-partisan era. This is just more of the same garbage that goes on in a lot of these places in the way in which they do election contests.
No, it's the playbook. It's the playbook, which is why this has to be absolutely vigorously fought, doesn't it?
So he's going to court to try to get the case dismissed, a case he was more than willing to participate in, but he wants the counting to stop at the point that he believes he has a lead. And he wants it dismissed. I believe the court will deny that, and the case will go forward on Monday. But then he has another one that's going on, which is he's talking to Harry Reid, and Harry Reid is making noises like, I'll seat him anyway, even if he doesn't have a certificate. Now, this would be a real travesty, since the whole argument over Senator Burrows was that he didn't have a certificate, and they weren't going to seat him without a certificate. Finally, when he got a certificate from the governor and the Secretary of State, they said they had no choice but to seat him. Well, now they're saying, well, they may seat Franken anyway. I guess they need some comic relief in the Senate.
I mean, this is what's going on here. They're obviously a little worried that, about what's going to happen when this actually legally is argued on the merits, which is yet to happen. I think people forget that because originally the court denying hearing this case was that they didn't have the standing. It wasn't on the merits of the case, right, Rudy?
Absolutely right, and the case is going to be heard, but there is this threat from Harry Reid that he's going to seat Franken anyway.
That's my point. I think they
at the courts and the law in Minnesota.
And that's what they want. That's the game here, right? They want to rush that so they can ignore it. And
if they thought they were going to win the case, if they were confident they were going to win the case, they'd say, gee, who wants all this controversy? Who wants all this question? Who wants to create all this partisan bickering in the so-called Obama post-partisan period if they thought they had a good case?